up, everyone? It's your girl Mika Chanel back with another edition of Mika Chanel is Just Saying. So last night I watched R&B Divas LA. It was the new season. Actually, it's a brand new show. This is the last night was the premiere episode of R&B Divas LA. So it stars. Let me get my names over here. So I have to look to the right. Kelly Price, Shantae Moore, Lil Mo, Dawn Robinson, Michelle A, and Claudette Ortiz from City High. Dawn Robinson from En Vogue, of course, we all know her. The one with the squinty eyes. She was also in Lucy Pearl. So we know who she is. But let me just say, I have to start off by saying R&B is like my favorite genre of music. It's and 90s R&B is my all-time favorite because that is when I was coming of age in the 90s, early 2000s. So any R&B artists that came out around that time, especially the five ladies that are on this show, I love them all. Except for Michelle A was a little earlier. I think she might have been later 80s. But I still remember her songs and I do like her. And they all can sing, okay? So I just needed to get that out the way. But so the show comes on, has this opening with all of them singing a little bit, like, whoo, doing that kind of thing or whatever. They all have on nice outfits in the opening credits, except for Kelly Price. I'm looking at her. I'm not even sure what the outfit is she has on. It looks like kind of like a muumuu. I'm not really sure. I'm like, she's gonna have to live with that outfit all season long. Every time the show comes on, we're gonna have to see her in that damn outfit. Was not one of my favorites, but anyways. So we start the episode off with Kelly Price in her kitchen, at her home in her kitchen, talking to, I think it was her husband, but I didn't catch it. It might have been her manager, but I'm thinking it's her husband because it seemed like it was early in the day because she wasn't dressed. She had a headscarf on, but the headscarf had bling bling on it. It was like a rhinestone beaded out headscarf, and I'm like, only Kelly Price, I guess, would rock a beaded out headscarf. But she was expecting company. Her company was Shantae Moore. So I'm like, okay, you're expecting company, you could have got dressed. You know, if you're expecting company, even if you don't want to shower, at least throw something on. You know, you don't have to walk around looking like you just woke up. Anyways, so Shantae Moore comes in and she's looking fabulous with her big hair as always. She's just really pretty. Love. She was done up, had her makeup done up as always. So I'm like, Kelly, your company was looking good. What happened? Didn't you know she was coming over? You knew the cameras were rolling. You got the first scene. Anyways, so they discuss an idea that Kelly has about an open mic night. And so Kelly Price is just telling Shantae that, she wants to do open mic nights for up-and-coming artists, but she thinks it would be a good idea if all of the R&B divas participated in it and maybe sang a song. Shantae was down with it, so we move on to, let me see, Dawn. We saw Dawn Robinson. She wasn't really doing anything. When they panned over to her, I believe she was at home. And then she just started talking about her past. So of course she had to talk about being in Vogue and everything. And she was saying that, of course En Vogue had drama. But the main reason they broke up, she was saying, is because of money, is because they weren't getting any. So, but I guess if you're in a group, you have to split the pot, and sometimes pot is not enough to go around. So that's basically why they split up, because they wanted more money and felt like they could earn more money on their own. But we see how that worked out. Anyway, so I love En Vogue, so I'm not throwing any shade, but I'm just saying it's the truth. So we move on to Lil Mo. She's in the studio. She's got her producers around her, and she's talking about, bringing her career back and everything. And I love me some Lil Mo, but she says that, she's like, Beyonce is here, and I need to get where she's at. Lil Mo, I hate to break it to you. Hold on for 1 second. Tiny Lorraine, close the door now. Lil Mo, I hate to break it to you, but you're not gonna be at Beyonce status. When is the last time you had an album? Like, I don't even know. 2001, it is 2013. You're not gonna get to Beyonce status. Now, that's not saying you can't come out with another album and still be successful, But you have to be a little realistic. You know, your audience are people, you know, in their early 30s like me that'll probably buy your album, but we're not going to catapult you to Beyonce status. Sorry. Anyways, I'm going to move on to the next scene, because the next scene came on and all of a sudden I just heard that voice. And I was like, it's Michelle. Her voice is crazy. It is just, as the show went on though, I got used to her voice. So I think it's something that when you hear it, you're like, ugh. But then as you hear her talk more, you know, you kind of get used to it. So that's how it happened. She was just kind of hanging out with some of her friends, I guess, and she was talking about, you know, her past and the group she had been in and who she had sang with. Talked about her having a baby with Dr. Dre, which I knew about, but what I did not know about was that she has a daughter, I believe, or a son, one of them, by Suge Knight. Really? Then she goes on to say that they got married, but she finds out that the marriage wasn't even legal. Like the IRS and the po-pos is telling her that her marriage is fake. And she makes a comment saying, well, it doesn't take you to be in love to have a baby, you know, but doesn't it take you to be in love to get married, even if it was a fake marriage? Whatever. Maybe she, you know, he was a broke man's Dr. Dre or something. I have no idea, but I was like, weren't they boys? And then they got into a fight, and then, you know, were they fighting over her? This whole story just blew right over my head. I wish I'd have known about it back then. Anyways, she should be happy though that the marriage wasn't legal, because who wants to be married to Suge Knight? Yeah. We're gonna move on from that. The next scene, we see all of the ladies, and they are gathering for a scene. All of the ladies except Claudette Ortiz. She comes later in the show. So it was Kelly Price, of course, Shantae Moore, who else? Lil Mo, Dawn Robinson. They were all in MSLA. They were all having, I believe they're having lunch at a little diner or whatever. So this is the thing with editing. So they all gather for a meal, right? And Kelly starts telling them about her idea for the open mic night. Now, they all get these what the fuck looks on their face. Like, is that what you brought me here for? I don't want to do no open mic. That's the kind of looks they had on their faces. But it went to commercial. And when it comes back from commercial, that's not the feelings that they had. They were all just nervous about doing an open mic because they hadn't sang in so long. So I'm like, you know, that's editing for you. They leave the scene as if it's some big drama. You know, they're not gonna want to do it, and is this gonna be the drama throughout the season, like R&B Divas Atlanta, because you know they couldn't get it together. So, anyways, that was just crazy, because I was like, tell my husband, I was like, uh-oh, they don't look too happy about that. They looking like, girl, hell no, I don't want to do an open mic. But that was just all the producers and editing. So then we move on to the next scene where Dawn Robinson is in the studio, and she is, you know, just performing, doing a little bit with her, I guess she's trying to come out with a CD. And she hears Claudette Ortiz singing, and Claudette Ortiz coincidentally just happens to be at the same studio that she's at the same time singing. So I'm not sure how much of a coincidence that is, but it is reality TV, so they have to put these women together somehow. Anyway, so Dawn hears her and walks over, and she says that she's not sure who is singing, but clearly she knows it's Claudette, because, you know, they're all on the show together. You know, I've seen enough reality shows to know this setup. But they start chit-chatting and, you know, just kind of introducing themselves. And Claudette, you know, says that she's new to LA. She doesn't have many friends and things like that. And I'm wondering why she has this look. Like, she has the Xanax mom look. You know, how they just kind of have, like, blank stares. And you're talking to them, like, and they doesn't seem like it's registering what you're saying to them. So that's the kind of look she had on her face. I'm like, it's, you know, maybe she, you know, took a couple Xanax and then did a shot of vodka or something, and she was just out of it. I don't know. But it was just really, really funny. So we move on from that scene. That was all really in that scene. I just had to talk about that scene because of Claudette's glazed out look in her eyes. Anyway, so we move on. Michelle A. and Dawn Robinson are taking some choreography lessons. I guess they're trying to, you know, get their little grooves back. It's been a while since they danced. Neither one of them really looked like they had much rhythm, so they need a lot more practice. But Dawn was smart. She was like, this is not my kind of dancing. You know, I'm going to stick with what I know, you know, just the little two-step side to side. Nobody got time to be doing all that shaking, she said. So at least she's smart and she's not going to get out there and make a fool of herself. Though I'm not really sure what they were learning any dance routines for. Maybe that's going to be something later on in the season. But one thing is Michelle A. must have had a lot of plastic surgery because she looks scary as hell. I was like, girl, you going to look like Lil' Kim in a minute? Okay, she needs to slow down with the plastic surgery. She did. She looked really crazy when that camera's panned up on her with no makeup. It wasn't right. That's all I can say about that. It just was not right. So Lil Mo and Shantae Moore end up going shopping at a boutique. They love their boutiques. These reality ladies love going to little boutiques. I need to start shopping at little boutiques to stay off the mall. I don't know. Maybe I'll get some better deals. But so they go shopping and they're just kind of talking about the open mic night and what they're gonna sing. And Shantae Moore is like, I'm gonna sing Shantae's Got a Man even though I don't have a man. So then Lil Mo is like, so that is true what I heard, you know. And she's like, yeah, you know, me and Kenny Lattimore got divorced and she's just like, she, you know, she's kind of just over the whole marriage thing because she's been married twice. And Lil Mo's like, twice? Who were you married to before? She's like, Kadeem. Everybody knew she was married to Kadeem Hardison, so I guess except for Lil Mo. And Lil Mo's like, oh yeah, okay. So, you know, Shantae was just talking about how she was just over the whole marriage thing or whatever. It was kind of sad to hear her talk. But I guess she's happy with her life. So we're gonna let that be that. And it seemed like Dawn is gonna be kind of like the little peacemaker and, you know, maybe somebody that everybody can talk to, because we see her again having lunch at some little sidewalk cafe with Claudette. And, you know, they're having lunch and then all of a sudden Dawn asks the question that we all want to know. What happened with City High? So Claudette says that there was a lot of abuse, and I'm like, abuse? You know, they was beating you down, like, you know, what do you mean abuse? But I guess she was dating one of the guys, which I think I knew back then, and the other guy just had a drinking problem, and he was just really, and she was really young when the group started. Like, she was only like 14, 15 when the group started, when they had like those 2 records that they had. She was like 18, something like that. So she was really, really young. So they probably were just taking advantage of her. So the group ended up dismantling mainly because I guess the guy's drinking problem. So, but she did end up marrying, I thought I wrote his name down. Robbie was his name, which he was a cuter one of the guys in the group. So she ended up marrying him, and they have kids together, and they were married for 11 years, and they just recently got divorced. And so she just recently moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. So now I'm like, okay, that's why she has that crazy look in her eyes. Maybe she's not on Xanax or whatever other prescription drug. She's just really sad, and she, you know, just recently relocated with all her kids. She was like, it's crazy. She got to get them into school. She got to find birth certificates. I don't know, but I know where my birth certificate is. I also know where my daughter's birth certificate is, but that's neither here nor there. But she's just saying, you know, she's going through all of this. She doesn't know anybody in LA. She's not sure if it was a good idea to even, you know, make that move. So, you know, I kind of understood and have some sympathy for her now, and understand why she had that blank stare in her eyes, because any woman out there knows what it is to go through something like that. A divorce, a breakup, a big move, just anything with kids along the way. It does get crazy. So so we go on to Oh, so then Dawn invites her to join the open mic night, and she's just like really excited about it. First, she says she's kind of nervous because she hasn't sang in a long time, but she's really excited about the fact that Dawn Robinson and Kelly Price and Shantae Moore are all going to be affiliated with it. And since she's, you know, kind of a lesser known artist than